about how to create a winter effect in Photoshop. So we're going to use the Bevel and Emboss tools. Go ahead and open Photoshop and hit New File, and you're going to choose Default Photoshop Size and Create. Okay, so you should have this blank canvas to work with, and then in Classroom, I saved some snow image that should be a good background for you. So go ahead and drag that in and resize it so it fills the frame. If it doesn't do it correctly, Command T will allow you to have those blue lines show up, okay? And then hit the Move tool to make it not move anymore. Okay, so now you have the blue tool or the blue background in. This T here stands for text, and it will allow you to type into Photoshop. So just give it one quick click, and once you click, you'll see that it has Latin words in there. Just ignore them. They're not a big deal, because once you start typing, it will, not typing snow, I'm typing winter. And I'm going to make it all caps. So when you type something, then you can select it, come over here and change all the attributes about it. So here is a bunch of different font choices. Just pick one that you think looks wintry. It doesn't really matter what it is. You can change the text here. You can type it in or click the drop down and choose something. When you're happy with it, click the Move tool, and it will allow you to move the words around, okay? And then the color is also available here. So once you've created this, I'm going to ask you to duplicate it. So you can right click, duplicate layer, and just say copy, okay. We're going to create an outer emboss and then an inner emboss of the letters. So the first one, to get more options, you want to double click in this layer. So you're going to double click in the gray space. Don't double click on the word or it'll think you're changing the word, the title. Just double click in the gray space. And once you have this menu tool show up, we're going to click on Bevel and Emboss. So Bevel and Emboss is when you run your finger over letters and you feel like they're going in or coming, like they're standing up and you can feel the dents. That's Bevel and Emboss. So we're going to make it look like that. So we want to check Bevel and Emboss and also check texture. Okay. So when you come in here, your style is going to be outer bevel. That means the bevel is going to go around the edge of your letters. The depth can be edited to be, a tiny little bevel or a bigger bevel. It's up to you. The size, same thing. And the softness is up to you. And then when you click texture, if you go into this level here, you'll see a bunch of different patterns. So you can make it look like water. You can make it look like a wintry tree. It's really up to you, but it's kind of, we want that icy effect to be in the background. Okay, so I'm going to hit OK here. And I forgot to add my example to it. Okay. So now we're going to go into the other winter, okay, because there were two of them. So on the second winter, double click, and this time we're going to be working on that inner bevel, okay? So click Bevel and Emboss again, but instead of outer bevel, choose inner bevel, and it will make the letters themselves look like they're 3D, okay? And you can again change the depth, the size, the softness. And if you go into texture, then it will add that same icy kind of texture to it. So just play with it until it looks appropriate to you, like it looks like it's supposed to. You want to be able to read what it says. So sometimes I soften one and keep the other kind of hard. And then you click OK. One final touch, and this is optional, but I just think it makes it look really nice. If you go into the paintbrush and brush tool, and again, here are some additional options for that brush tool. I just like to add a little bit of snow on the top of my letters. So hit OK. And then I'm going to come in here to, actually I'm just going to hit a new layer. If you hit this little plus sign, it'll create a new layer so that my snow is in its own little layer here. Okay, so that's way too small. So I can go here and go back to new layer and just undo the last thing I did in my history tool. And I'm just going to make it somewhere in here. Okay. And then I'm going to kind of create just this, oops, I don't like that either. brush tool, brush tool. I think it's too soft, so I'm going to go in here to my brushes and create a hard round look. And I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. Okay, so when I come in here, and again, I don't like it. So you see how you can undo and redo and just try different things. So I think it needs to be a little bit transparent, because when it's 100%, it just looks like a white line. So let's make it like here. Okay. And if you want to, it's just kind of creating this like snowy effect that you can add into your letters. And you just want to trace it kind of where the snow would fall on the outside of your letters. And play with it till it looks the best to you, till it looks kind of like snow. But again, this is an optional little just tool to make it look even more realistic. Okay, and that is how you create a bevel and embossed. Use the bevel and emboss tool to create a winter effect.